when the night turned against them. The boy home alone. The night was quiet, unnervingly so. A young boy sat in the living room, the glow from the TV flickering across his face. His parents had gone out for dinner, leaving him home for just a few hours. But hours in the dark can feel like an eternity when the house starts to breathe with strange sounds. First, it was the wind pressing against the windows, or so he thought. Then came a slow, dragging creak from upstairs, the kind that made your skin tighten around your bones. He froze, listening. Another creak, heavier this time, as if someone had stepped on the loose floorboard in the hallway above. He whispered his dog's name, but the dog didn't move from the rug. It just stared at the ceiling, tail stiff, ears perked. The boy's heart began to thump hard enough to drown the sound of the TV. Then silence, until a soft tap echoed from the front door. 3 slow knocks. He turned down the volume, waiting. Another 3 knocks. Louder. The boy called his mother, but no one answered. He grabbed the dog and crept toward the window. Through the curtain's crack, he saw nothing. No car. No person. Just the shadow of the oak tree swaying in the wind. Then his phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Why didn't you open the door?" The influencer and the intruder. She had thousands of followers and lived for the thrill of going live at midnight. Her apartment was small but filled with ring lights and the smell of hairspray. That night, she planned to stream a late-night Q&A. Her chat flooded with comments as she laughed and answered questions. But among the hearts and emojis was one that made her pause. "Nice place. Who's the man behind you?" Her laughter died. She turned her camera slightly. Nothing but an empty couch behind her. She brushed it off, joking that her viewers were trying to scare her. 30 minutes later, she ended the stream and walked to her bedroom. The apartment felt colder now. She went to plug in her phone charger and froze. Her reflection in the darkened TV showed a man standing in the hallway behind her, motionless. When she spun around, he was gone, but the scent of sweat and dirt lingered in the air. Her window latch was broken, and on the sill was a muddy boot print. The boy, the dog, and the burning house. It was supposed to be just another power outage in their quiet neighborhood. The boy, maybe 13, sat with his flashlight while his parents slept upstairs. His German shepherd growled softly at the darkness near the back door. The smell came next, faint, then stronger. Smoke. He ran to the kitchen, and through the window he saw it, flames licking the wooden shed outside. He yelled for his parents, but the fire spread fast, crawling up the side of the house. The power returned for just a second, enough for him to see something through the glass door, a figure standing beyond the fire, watching the house burn. He thought it was a firefighter, until it smiled. His dog barked wildly, dragging him away from the window. Minutes later, sirens filled the night, but by then the figure had vanished, leaving behind deep footprints leading into the woods. The woman and the late-night buzzer. The old apartment building had a security buzzer that rarely worked. So when it rang at 2:37 a.m., the woman in apartment 2B jolted awake. The sound echoed down the empty hallway, long, harsh, and unending. She checked the peephole. No one was there. Another buzz. Then a voice, low and broken through the speaker. "Please let me in. Someone's after me." Her instinct told her to help, but fear held her back. She called the front desk, no answer. She looked again through the peephole. This time, she saw a woman standing just out of sight, swaying gently as if she could barely stand. Then, from behind her door, she heard whispering. Not from the speaker this time, but inside the hallway. The buzzer stopped. The whispering grew louder, 2 voices now. Then 3. She backed away, trembling, as someone dragged a nail slowly down her door, a long, piercing scratch. When police arrived an hour later, they found the outer security camera wires cut, and a single note left taped to her buzzer. "Next time, open the door." Things that follow Yausteri 5, the student in Spain. It was supposed to be the best semester of her life. Maria, a foreign student, had just moved into a small apartment on the edge of Madrid. The street was quiet, lined with orange lamps that hummed faintly at night. Her roommate was away for the weekend, and for the first time, Maria had the place to herself. That's when the phone calls began. At first, Just static, soft, almost rhythmic. Then a voice. "You left your window open again." Her blood froze. She turned, heart pounding, and saw that the window in the living room was open, the curtains breathing in the cold air. She slammed it shut and checked the locks. The city below was still awake. Laughter, footsteps, distant traffic, nothing unusual. But the next evening, the calls came again. Each time, from a different number. She blocked them, but new ones appeared. The voice always whispered the same thing. "You shouldn't have closed it." When the police finally traced the calls, they discovered something sickening. The numbers weren't foreign. They were coming from a prepaid phone, purchased from the small kiosk directly below her apartment. And the clerk swore he sold it to someone who looked just like her. Story 6, the rural Tennessee house. Miles away from any city, the Harper family lived in a weathered farmhouse surrounded by endless woods. They liked the peace, until peace began to feel like isolation. One night, a storm rolled in. The power flickered, and the father went out to check the generator. His wife waited by the window, watching the rain blur the world outside. That's when she saw it. A tall figure standing at the edge of the tree line. Still. Too still. She called for her husband, but he didn't respond. The figure took one step closer. Then another. She grabbed the phone, but the line was dead. A flash of lightning illuminated the yard, and for a split second, she saw two of them now, both facing the house. She ran to wake her children upstairs, but when she reached the landing, the front door creaked open below. They found the father's flashlight in the mud the next morning. No footprints, no blood, just a faint sound of tapping that came from under the floorboards that night. Steady, patient, almost human. Story 7, the fake exterminator. It was a sunny afternoon when the girl heard the knock. The man outside wore a cap and a jumpsuit with a pest control logo. "Your neighbor scheduled a building-wide treatment," he said, smiling too much. "Mind if I check your vents?" She hesitated, but he flashed an ID card, laminated, official-looking. She let him in. He moved slowly through the rooms, his gloved hand brushing the walls as he passed. When he asked to see the basement, something in her gut screamed no. She told him her father would be home soon, and the man's smile faltered. "Oh, I thought you lived alone," he said quietly. That's when she realized she never mentioned that. He left without another word, but hours later, when her father did return, he found the front door unlocked and small scratches near the lock, like someone had tried to come back. The police said there'd been similar reports in the area. A man posing as an exterminator, always visiting women who lived alone. They never caught him, but 3 days later, when the girl opened her window for air, she noticed something on the opposite rooftop, a pest control cap, swaying gently in the breeze, pinned there by a knife.